What about Germany? Is anything happening in Germany?
Mm.
The for let's say political reasons, the original publisher basically walked away from the story and ghosted us on messages. So they,
Wow.
for some reason, they just wanted nothing to do with it. And I've heard rumors from people as to why they did that, but I can't. I honestly have not heard anything from them.
Although Europe has great privacy protections, I think there's been, some resistance in the EU.
Well, particularly from German Chancellor Angela Merkel.
Well, specifically Germany and Huawei.
Yeah, despite being warned by her own national intelligence services, Angela Merkel has not said no to Huawei, which the way Germany goes will really determine how the rest of the EU goes. So it's kind of concerning to hear they weren't quite receptive to this report.
So I don't know if you've seen this. Just within the past day, there were three things that came out. So first of all, Volkswagen, the great
People's
human
wagon.
rights defender that can't find Xinjiang on a map,
Mhm.
is going to make, I think, another $15 billion investment into China.
Great.
The second thing is that supposedly the report from a German paper came out that Merkel was trying to get T-Mobile access into the Chinese market in exchange for Huawei into the German network.
Okay.
And then supposedly there's legislation that is coming out, which not by name, but basically set standards that effectively block Huawei from the German network. That just came out I just saw it on Twitter about an hour before I jumped on here with you guys. So I don't know the details yet, but that is supposedly going to be released in the not too distant future, according to the German news report.
Well, that third one sounds like good news, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it is 2 steps forward, a step and a half back. So, we'll wait to see details because, a lot of times these announcements, the headlines is distinctly different from the policy reality.
That's true. So really, Germany is only making a tiny half step forward. I believe that's called a goose step.
Oh, I mean, honestly, for all this talk about Germany being intolerant, like they are actually very tolerant of Chinese investment.
That's where you're going. It kind of reminds me of when we were in New Zealand, actually, and we could not find a single government official.
No, but we found a dairy farmer
who would talk to us.
Who would
give
talk
us
to
free
us.
milk.
Oh yeah, that's what you remember.
Yeah,
but my
of course.
My point
and jumping
was,
on a trampoline after drinking a bunch of raw milk.
It was a great day.
Okay, well, this has been totally derailed. But my point.
No, what's your point?
My point was that in places where there is a lot of Chinese Communist Party influence in the government or in among society at a certain level, then it can be much harder to have, the media or government officials or people who are willing to acknowledge what's going on with the Chinese Communist Party.
It's like
Right.
China is selling clam soup because everyone starts clamming up.
Oh, I was thinking, it's like once the elite capture reaches a certain point, it's easy to finish the capture, right? That's also like the whole point of this database, Christopher, that you found, which is that they're gathering data on people that some of them presumably could be potentially elite captured, so that they can do more elite capture, so they can stop those countries from stopping the Communist Party.
Well, I
That's
can
a much
tell you,
better point.
we had some people, a couple of people on our team that came out of the types of backgrounds that had been exposed to government data in the past and worked against China. And one of the things they noted is they said it's very interesting who is not in the database.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the database.
Yeah.
And what they meant by that was individuals that had been suspected of being a Chinese asset or distinctly known as being anti-CCP. Okay.
Well, that explains why I'm not in it.
because you're a Chinese asset.
That honestly, that's why. Like, look, I can tell you this data. This pretty much devoid of anybody that, for instance, would run a China-focused news site. So it was distinctly devoid of individuals or institutions like that. So I think that's very notable. But it was also devoid of people that were that, let's say, had a cloud over their loyalties, shall we say? So yes, and to speak to Germany, one of the things I've always heard is from my German contacts is, Chris, you just don't understand how bad a lot of Germany is compromised. And they gave me some examples, but one that I was told about by an individual was, look, I've been openly followed by Chinese agents inside of Germany.
Whoa.
And when you complain to German security services, they just kind of shrug. And to know that that's taking place, I think is something that should concern a lot of people, because if it's taking place that openly, German authorities should know. And from the sounds of it, they do know.